Let's just settle into our meditation posture. So just check. Just let me check the microphone. Oh. Okay. So just check how you're doing, how you're coming into the room this evening. And however that is, just know that it's totally fine. There's no problem with where you're at this evening. The fact that you even showed up, that's just amazing. So just rejoice in that. And so now let's just align our body. Check your feet, check your alignment. Shoulders are aligned with the hips, and just lengthen the spine. Imagine it's a string of pearls of light, and it's just stretching, lengthening, stretching, lengthening. And tip the head forward, a little bit of length in the back of the neck. Eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. Just take a nice deep breath, just relax. And then relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the back of the head. Allow the shoulders and the shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly. And then bring the mind to the breath. And just tune in to your in-breath and your out-breath. Feel the sensations of the air. And then just notice if there are sounds in your environment. What I'm hearing right now is the sounds of the last birds before they go to bed. It's getting dark. And then just notice the thoughts that are arising and try not to follow them with the mind. Try not to judge them. Just take a step back, be objective, and look at your thoughts with curiosity. And then bring to mind all the people of our life, all the loved ones, the ones we are a little bit hesitant about being around, and then our strangers. And just remember they can change place at any time. And then remember they're all equal in their wish to be happy, their wish to be free from suffering, and having this extraordinary capacity for an enlightened mind. So as we're thinking this evening, motivating for all the people on the island of Maui, anyone who's related to those people affected by these fires. And then now all the people in West Canada, all the people in Oregon, breathing in all this hazardous smoke. And then think, let's just start. There is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is psychological. We create negativity with our mind, so we can create positivity with our mind instead. So here we come to the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason we regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we ourselves will experience. And we know from our present suffering that we don't want it. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're asking the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you can imagine Vajrasattva is above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher. manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. Has this beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. So here we have our beautiful Vajrasattva. So imagine this, an image similar to this on the crown of your head, made of light, radiating light. And like I said earlier, the mind of your teacher. He has these eyes, beautiful. They're looking at you and all those people of your life with compassion and kindness and not judging, just accepting you as you are. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, and the very beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of someone you've harmed recently, in the past, and then in general, all beings you have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think about those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because they're going to suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So next is the purification of your speech. So just imagine Vajrasattva again, very happily, very kindly, sending powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around, forcefully enters your crown, fills your entire body, and this time forces up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and the lying and talking about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, and all the inappropriate speech. Just imagine all of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya Vajrasappa dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami matsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya Vajrasappa dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya Vajrasappa dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya Vajrasappa dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya Vajrasappa dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya Vajrasappa dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya Vajrasappa dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech, even yourself, because you will be hearing it. And next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So again, the same as when you walk into a pitch black room, you just flick on the switch and that instantly dispels the darkness. So the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your depression and anxiety and attachment and grasping and jealousy and unhealthy desire and bitterness and grudges, all instantly dispelled. Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya Vajrasappa dina patita dita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta me boa sawasiti me piyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the mind as you recite the mantra. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satwa A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Mebawal Sitokaya Mebawal Sipokaya Mebawal Anurakta Mebawal Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satwa A Hum Pe. So now feel you are completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So really try and imagine that. Try and get a sense of what would it be like inside to be that. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth step in the purification process, and it's such a crucial one, is this determination to not harm with our body and speech and mind, to refrain from harming. And so without this determination, without this decision, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. And this aspiration to not harm is like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So everything exists on the tip of the wish. We have to decide. We have to decide when we want to get out of our chair and walk across the room. So everything we do, we have to make a decision about first. So we just decide, and we start with something simple. Well, start by rejoicing in your efforts. And then think of something simple that you would like to work on, like nothing too big or dramatic or traumatic. Nothing that's going to kind of start triggering you. Just start with something simple. And then we get braver. And then we notice, rather than reacting to something that somebody's said to us, we sit there and process it first, quietly. But this determination to not harm is what gives us the strength to change. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. So next, this little section here on emptiness. So we think about, in emptiness, there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, however, whatever you've heard about it, just place your mind there for a moment. So the purpose of doing this at the end of the practice is to sort of seal the merit. Oh, we think of all phenomena as being empty. It's a bunch of dependent arisings. They don't exist. Phenomena don't exist, doesn't exist from their own side. And the way we look at things, the way we see things, the way we perceive things might not necessarily be the way they actually are. So we can just, good to think about that. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created this evening, doing this purification to all living beings, and particularly right now for all those folks over there in Hawaii. And think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. Okay, everybody, and may I see? Thank you. Okay, great, everybody. Thank you so much. Just remember to dedicate for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, if this is in your practice, to the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, And just pray for the long lives of any of your teachers if you have them. Okay, lots of love. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Take care. And I look forward to seeing you on Monday.